tomorrow I am flying out to Bali. Well, I'm flying to Hong Kong for 3 days and then I will be going to Bali for an entire month. So I figured, since this is my second full month this year in Bali, I've learned a thing or two about how to pack and what you need to pack for Bali. So yeah, I'm gonna show you what I'm packing for Bali today. It's kind of like all this stuff behind me, some other stuff you can't see down here. And I have put together a list, a system, and I'm gonna share all that with you today. So if you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe, thumbs up this video if it's useful for you, and yeah, let's get into it. When I go on a longer term trip, anything that's like 3 weeks or more, I'd say, I usually make a spreadsheet because I love spreadsheets for everything I need to bring so I don't forget anything, because there's just so many small little things that can make a big difference in your trip and you don't want to forget it. So I'm gonna pop there a little screen of my spreadsheet for Bali with my full list of everything I'm packing, and I'm also going to link this below for you, so when you're packing you can go through it yourself and copy and paste it into your own spreadsheet and then cross off things as you go, so it's really obvious what you have and what you don't have. I like to be very organized because I find that alleviates the stress of travel. In terms of where to start, I don't want to start with like dresses and bikinis because like you know that you need to bring that to Bali. I'm going to start with some of the weirder stuff that I've discovered in my last trip that was either helpful or I didn't bring last time, and then we're going to get into like the clothing side of things. You know, let's start with medical stuff. So I bring a whole lot of drugs to Bali when I go there. I like to be super prepared in the case that I get a cold, I get Bali belly. That's a very real possibility. So let's go through the medications that I bring. So I have a ton of Neocitrin. If you're Canadian, you know what this is. It's like Theraflu in the US. Heaven if you have a cold or flu and it keeps you going. I also have a decongestant in there, so in case you're flying somewhere and you're stuffed up like I am now, then you can be decongested when you go up in the plane. Imodium, we all know what that's for. I have Midol in case my PMS just gets like out of control. I have Gravol, Benadryl in case I have an allergic reaction to pretty much anything. Also, another tip is to take any medications you're bringing out of their packages, because it makes it a lot slimmer to pack, and I reuse these plastic bags on every single trip I go on, so it's not, in my opinion, creating a lot of extra plastic waste because they get used for like a year at a time. So Pepto-Bismol is your friend, especially in Bali. This is TMI, but you know what, ladies, this is a real thing. I have yeast infection medication because let me tell you a little story. One time I was in the Philippines and I was on a super remote island with my friend and I got a really bad yeast infection, and if you've ever had one, it's not pretty. It's not cool. And basically there was like no pharmacy on our island or the neighboring island or anywhere within like a 5-hour radius of us, and I did not have this with me. And let me tell you, the 5 days I was stuck there, shit was bad. It was like the worst experience of my life. So I bring the yeast infection pill, which is a fluconazole capsule, and the cream with me wherever I go. TMI, but you know what? It's important, so I couldn't not bring it up. Oh, and then I always bring melatonin with me because I find if I'm going, like when I travel, usually I go from like Airbnb to Airbnb. Sometimes I'm in hostels. And I'm a pretty light sleeper and I have trouble sleeping if I'm not in like a quiet and calm environment. So 1 milligram of melatonin just helps your girl fall asleep. The other thing to do with sleep is earplugs. I always bring little earplugs with me for the same reason. You never know, there's a lot of roosters in Bali and sometimes they like to wake up really early. Troy ordered these, it looks like a bra, off Amazon, and it's like the best sleep mask in the world. I'm gonna try and find it and link it for you, but basically there's like pockets, or there's like gross for my skin cream, but there's like pockets in the eyes, and when you wear this, oh my god, it just feels like sleeping is so much easier. Like pop a melatonin and put this bad boy on and ain't nobody gonna be waking you up. And then I always bring hand sanitizer wipes as well. These ones are lavender from Whole Foods. They smell really good and they keep you clean and safe. I've been in situations, again, I think this was in Thailand, my friend, we were snorkeling and she like cut her foot really badly on some coral. And this guy like took off his really dirty t-shirt and like wrapped it around her foot as like her like bandage, and I was like, oh my god, no. My mom's a nurse, so I'm very like well versed in keeping wounds clean, and that is not how you do it. So I bought this little medical kit at Mountain Equipment Co-op a few years ago, and I supplemented it a bit because sometimes they're a little bit stingy, but it has like tape in there, it has gauze, there's a ton of alcohol wipes in there in case you have a wound that's like open and needs to be cleaned. It's a bitch, but you gotta do it. I actually have an additional little thing that's like a travel sized band-aids as well. So what I'll do is I'll just refill this every trip with new band-aids. I like to buy Canadian mosquito repellent. American mosquito repellent kind of scares me, and like low-key melted plastic on my flip-flops onto my foot one time, so. Oh, also another thing to note, on my last trip to Bali, for a whole month, I only packed a carry-on bag, and that was just way too freaking hard, and I don't think I can do it again. So this time I've packed like a medium size, let me show you, a medium size bag right there. So that's what I'm filling up as we go. Oh, and now I have just mussed my little camera set up. The next column that I've put here is miscellaneous stuff. So this is just like random shit that I found to come in handy or I didn't have last time and thought would be really handy. So kind of have like a little couple things here. So this is gonna sound super weird, but I bought a knife. Gary. Yeah, so I bought this knife because I found last time it was really frustrating. I would like be driving along and there'd be a really cool fruit stand and I would buy some fruits and I would have no way to peel them and prepare them for myself. So I wanted to have a knife with me, and it's like safe and it locks so it won't like accidentally open in your bag, so that when I come across like fruits or whatever I want, I can easily prepare them myself. Also, definitely don't bring that in your carry-on. You have to check that for sure. So I have two different locks. This lock I actually bought from a hostel last time I was in Bali, and it's super useful if you're gonna be staying in hostels to lock your things in, like they usually have safe containers where you can leave your whole suitcase. So I'll lock the suitcase in there with this. And then this little guy I put on my suitcase when I check it. Something that really bothered me on my last trip to Bali was the excessive amount of plastic water bottles that I used when I was traveling, because you can't drink the tap water in Bali, it's gonna make you sick. So for this trip, I bought this Lifesaver water filtration system. It's like a tiny, so amazing. It's a tiny water bottle that filters all of the amoeba, parasites, gross shit out of the water, and I'm gonna be using this throughout my entire trip. I'm very passionate about saving the planet, and this feels like a small but very important step towards that. So I will explain more about this in another video, show you how to use it and stuff like that, but I'm really excited about it. Another random miscellaneous thing that's gonna be good is just like a cloth bag like this that you can put your dirty laundry in, because I don't like my dirty laundry mingling with my clean laundry. Call me crazy, but shit's nasty, so I like to separate it into a little bag. I threw a couple of chip clips in my bag before I left on my last trip, and they ended up coming in very handy when I would buy, I don't know, whatever I felt like buying from a corner store, and then I didn't want to finish the whole thing, clip it up, and you don't get ants. So very useful. Another thing I like to bring is a small backpack for day trips. Like I have my big backpack that has all of my filming equipment in it and stuff like that, but this doubles as like a kind of cute like purse slash backpack, and it's just nice if you're going to the beach to not have a massive bag, and maybe something like that looks okay with your outfit and is also functional. I print out a copy of my travel insurance and I bring that with me with like the phone number you need to call if anything goes wrong, and I keep it with my passports because then it's like the most important things are together, and if God forbid anything happens, you are ready. Another thing I'm always sure to bring is a book. Right now I'm reading Little Fires Everywhere. I'm like yay far through it and it's really good so far. I like it, but very useful for the plane and just like relaxing. This is kind of random. I think Troy's mom left this at our house, but it's really useful. It's like a little light up push thing. A lot of the times, I don't know why, but in my Airbnbs there was no like switch for the light near the bed, so I would like get into bed and have to like turn on all the lights and like run and jump in bed. And I'm a scaredy cat, and sometimes I like a nightlight, so I'm bringing a little nightlight with me. Weird, but useful. So thank you, Troy's mom, for leaving this at our house. I've made a few videos about this before. So I have major stomach problems that I've been hospitalized for, and I have an extremely sensitive stomach that is very susceptible to getting food poisoning pretty much wherever I go. Lots of foods upset my stomach, so I'm a pretty particular eater, and I've had people say like, oh, you just need to let your system get used to the new bacteria, blah blah blah. Like, no, this is a particular to me problem, and I choose to exercise extreme caution with eating when I'm traveling in certain countries because I don't want to end up in the hospital. So I have food that's safe for me to eat and I know is not going to upset my tummy. First off, no matter where I'm traveling in the world, even throughout the US and Canada, I bring a jar of peanut butter with me everywhere I go because I will have apples and peanut butter for breakfast wherever, whenever, and as frequently as I can. I also bring some Mary's crackers with me because they don't sell these in Indonesia as far as I'm aware, and these are kind of like a staple for me, and they're really good on the go snacks, like if you're going for a hike, a waterfall adventure, etc. They have lots of good nuts and seeds in them, so those. These Justin's peanut butters, I don't love the ingredients in these because they add palm oil, which makes like 0 sense to me because peanuts are amazing as is and you don't need to add oil, but the packaging is convenient again for adventure days if you're going on a boat or whatever. This bag is full of power bars, so I have a whole bunch of different kinds here. I have Laura bars, I have Kind bars. They sell these in Indonesia, but they are like $5 each, so it's better to buy them for like $1.50 in the US. Oh, another really random thing. Ooh, grab this from back here. Is I always bring like a little mini, show you here, like face clothy thing with me. I find, I don't know, like this actually just came in really handy on my last trip. I don't want to get into it, but just if you bring a little face cloth, it may come in handy and you may be really, really happy you did. Now to move on to clothing. I think this is the last section I'm gonna like show you on camera because for toiletries and like electronics and carry-on stuff, I'm going to pack all that like tomorrow morning right before I leave because I need to wash my face tonight. So for clothing, first off, I have a bunch of like sunglasses in their cases with some like hair ties and random accessories. I have some cheap jewelry here. I never bring, like as a policy, any of my expensive jewelry with me when I'm traveling because you just like don't want to have to think about it. Bikinis! I've decided to kind of overpack on the bikini front, but I'm okay with it because, I don't know, I'm gonna be kind of living in these bad boys throughout the trip. So the next thing I'm packing are comfy little tank tops, sleep shirts, and just like plain t-shirts that I can, open this inside out, just like hang out inside in. Now this might be a little weird in the t-shirt zone, but I always bring, again, this is inside out, but you get the point, long sleeve shirts to Bali because I burn super easily and just like cannot be exposed to the sun for that long, otherwise bad things happen. So I'm also bringing, this is like super weird, but turtleneck to Bali because you know what, you gotta protect your skin from the sun. I like to bring a hoodie to Bali because a lot of the time you're gonna be inside in air-conditioned environments that are gonna be really cold, and especially on the plane. I'm actually gonna wear this on the plane, so I'm not gonna pack it, but on the plane you're gonna love this. And like when I'm editing inside and it's freaking just freezing cold because some ACs, they're either like on or off, you know, there's no like adjusting them. Having a hoodie is just really nice and really comforting. Wow. All these dresses. I bought this on my last trip to Bali, super light. I wore it in a ton of my videos. I'm gonna wear it again in a lot more of my videos. Don't bother bringing anything that's like a heavier material. Even this dress I'm wearing now, it's like from Aritzia and it's heavier. You're just gonna sweat to death and you're not gonna wear it, so don't bring it. I have a few cuter tank tops and like little bralette things that I'm going to throw in my bag here. And I have a couple skirts that I'm gonna put in, like short skirts. I'm not much of a shorts girl. They just like ride up my butt and don't look good. So if you're the sort of person who wears shorts, shorts would be useful as well. And then the last thing is carry-on. So in my carry-on, I always carry pretty much all my electronics because I just can't risk losing any of that stuff. Passport, obviously, wallet, phone. I arrive with local currency wherever I'm going. I always put an extra pair of underwear in my carry-on in case they lose your luggage, because last time that happened to me and I was 3 days with no underwear, and it's actually hard to find underwear in Bali, at least where I was, so. And then the other thing, I have like a final column here with apps to download before you go, because I feel like this is like kind of part of the packing experience, but I recommend downloading Gojek, Grab, a currency exchange app, movies for your flight, and Google Translate. All of the above will come in handy. And yeah, I think that's kind of it. Anything I didn't mention today, again, it's in the doc, check it out, link below. But yeah, that is what I am packing for Bali. This was honestly a very convenient video to film because now I am almost totally packed and I can enjoy the rest of my evening with Troy because I'm not gonna see him for a month. That's kind of it. That's what I would say you should pack for your trip to Bali. And if you're going, have fun and check out my other Bali videos because I cover a lot in my Bali videos and I just show you sort of like experiences I have in Bali. So yeah, check it out if you feel like. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video in Bali. All right, bye guys.
Talk to him. I think you need to move it to the left. Shout. Move it to the left. Shout.